What's up, y'all? It's your boy Young Soul, aka Supersonic, and y'all, welcome to TJ Young Soul TV, guys. Y'all, this is episode 8, y'all. I'm so listen. The guest I have on this right now, I am like so excited to have y'all. She's all the way from California, y'all. Kaale. And y'all, I'm gonna be back down there soon anyway because I love California and Venice Beach and all that stuff. And y'all, guess what I have in the building with me? She's like so talented. Oh y'all, the moves that she has, gotta stretch for it. Gotta stretch for it. I'm telling you, she is phenomenal. Queen Morgan, y'all. I got Miss Morgan in the building. Yes. How you doing today?
Good. I'm excited to talk with you. I'm excited.
Yeah. Basically, go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know about you.
Okay. Well, hello. I'm Morgan Weskey. I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I grew up skating here in 1997 when my home rink opened up, and skated here like 2-3 times a week. And then I moved out to California 2014 to be a professional dancer. And so I did that for several years, and then also choreographed, immediately started working on music videos. And in the second month of living out there, I was able to choreograph a Warner Brothers music video. So
Wow.
That was really cool. Yeah. And then I got back into skating because living in Tennessee, there wasn't much of a real skate culture. So I didn't skate as much as I got older. But when I moved back out to LA, I went to Venice Beach one day and took my skates. And it was February 1st, 2015. I remember because it was such like a monument time for me.
Yeah.
And I saw the Venice Beach skaters. And I like immediately fell in love. It was always like this older crowd out there. So it was just like this diverse older crowd, like everyone's just out there having a good time. There's no cell phones, no social media, which nothing is wrong with that. But it really was just, everybody was absolutely out there for the love of skating. And I just fell in love with it. And then, as I was leaving, Terrell, who became my skate partner for a few years, and we did a lot of partner stuff and everything. Terrell Ferguson, his Instagram is Terrell Writes TV. He ran up to me as I was leaving, and he was like, "Hey, are you a dancer?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." Like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "Because I'm a dancer." And I was like, "Oh, dope." And he's like, yeah. He's like, come back. We're here every Saturday and every Sunday. And so I did, and I did that for 7 years. Went from some really cheap skates that I bought from a thrift store that were so big that I rolled up socks and stuff in the top. Then the skates fell apart, and I took duct tape and I taped them around the skate. And then eventually Pamela, she's the lady out there that's been bringing the music for decades. Yeah. She's like, "You should get some skates." And she's like, "Here's a good brand. I can get you a discount on some Sure Grip boardwalks." So 2016, I bought a legit pair of skates. Well, I had Rydell's when I was a kid that I bought at my home rink in Tennessee. But I got these boardwalks, and I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. So I skated even more. I would the Venice skaters only skated on the weekends up until the pandemic when that changed everything. Yeah. But because I wanted to skate more than that, I would go to World on Wheels. I would go to Fountain Valley. But I would also just skate outside I would literally drive my car just to find an empty parking lot to practice all these moves by myself. And then down the road, as I'm a professional dancer, I'm different dance companies, dance crews at the time. I started doing some acting. So I'm choreographing. So I have an agent and a talent manager by this time. And while I'm going to auditions for dance and acting and stuff, I started booking some roller skate jobs. So then at the time, when you go to these casting calls are only looking for actors, dancers, stuntmen, such like that. So whenever there was a casting job for a roller skater, which most of the time it's a actor acting to roller skate. just like an actor acting to be a police officer or a fireman or a mom, a dad. It's like that. So I would tell my agent, like, hey, I actually roller skate. Definitely send me into this role. I mean, I can get it. So then that's how I started booking like some of these roller skate jobs, because on these casting sites, it was only actors, right?
Actors.
So then, yeah. So then even when I went to dance auditions back in the day, I would take my roller skates, because at the dance audition, after there was like the girls section, like you learn choreography and then you perform it in front of the judges. Then there's the guy section, the girl section. And then after that is the specialty, which is dancers who can do tricks, like dancers who are like popper, wavers, lockers, gymnastic stuff, tumblers, all of that stuff. So I would throw on my roller skates at dance auditions. Yeah, so a lot of it, like a lot of those jobs was never really expecting to see someone who was like good at roller skating. And then so I was able to do a lot of jobs like that. Other skaters who were booking jobs in Los Angeles were also on casting sites, because they were either also performing artists like actors and dancers, such like that. And then fast forward to the pandemic hitting, now like roller skating exploded again because of the media. So now when there's casting auditions, now they actually have roller skaters, and a lot of agents are actually picking up roller skaters. So the funny thing with that is that I had to hustle my ass off to get my first agent. I had to do 6 months of an unpaid internship. So I had to drive to Hollywood twice a week and do work for them to get signed. And I had to like pay $500 for headshots, make a reel. You can't get an agent without a resume, even if you have nothing to put on the resume, and headshots. So I had to like spend all this money on like working 2 jobs, serving and bartending, to get my first agent, right? And then like all these new roller skaters come through who blow up on social media, and they immediately get an agent where they didn't have to hustle like I did. And I was like, it's a little like I get it, because now like agents are booking directly through social media. Where like before the pandemic, it was like you had to
like run up there, go up there every now and time.
Have a resume, have like a full-on resume to become someone like that. Yeah. And then fast forward now, there's so many roller skaters, which is amazing. Absolutely awesome. But at the same time, I'm not booking as many jobs anymore, because now there's so much more competition.
There's so much.
So what do? I'm not really booking jobs like I used to, which is fine. You know, you got to share a little piece of the pie. But at the same time, I was booking because I was acting and dancing, not necessarily, you know, I got into that because of hustling to become an actor and a dancer and a choreographer.
Right.
But now, since I'm not booking as much anymore, I solely put all my energy into teaching. So I've been a dance teacher for 15 years, starting in Tennessee, coming to LA, and even that, becoming a dance teacher in Los Angeles is a lot of hustle. You have to have so much content. I used to pay videographers to come film my classes, and I would spend more money than I would make money just being a dance teacher. But that's the hustle that you do, that's the marketing, that's the school, that's like going to college for dance in a way. So I'm doing all this hustling, and so I'm like, well, I'm not booking jobs much anymore. Let me just focus on my teaching. So I take the brand that I already had started, and I create dance skate workshops. So now I start traveling, and I teach dance skate workshops, because I'm not booking jobs as much in LA anymore. Let me focus solely on my teaching. So that was me like reinventing myself again, trying to like, you know, so it's, that's the ugly and that's the beauty of all of it.
Yes, and also y'all, what she's saying is so like, it's like motivating me now even more, because like she's doing something what she loves. She with all these courses, all this like trial and tribulation, and end up doing something amazing, helping other people. Because listen, doing what you do is not easy at all. And the way social media is, that's why I can like definitely capitalize on that. The way social media is, it's like, you know, you can just put a rail on, and then guess what? It just explodes. Everybody's calling you now and all that. But you actually had to drive up spend your hard-earned money to go and find agents or get a booking agent, all that stuff. That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work. And you said how long have you been doing this for again?
How what? Say that again.
How long have you been doing this for again?
Well, when I moved to LA, 2015 is when like more of my professional career started. So I tell everyone, I say 7 years of like serious skating. Like when people ask me how long I've been skating, I claim 7 years, even though I skated since 1997. But when they ask that question, they're really asking like, when did you take skating serious? And that was 7 years ago. Yeah.
Well, I've been skating ever since I was being able to walk. So let's say about 1 or whatnot, or 2, really.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say because, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
Of course, right. But still, you know, I count the years, like the first day I put on skates, I guess that's pretty much like, you know, the day I say I first started skating.
Yeah.
Do or not. But, I mean, my thing, though, is I'm proud of you now. Like, I like.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all, have y'all seen her skate? Like, your skating is so different. The rhythm, the technique, the balance, the control, all that. Y'all, I met Miss Morgan at RTC 2022. Man, the connection already. She told me so much. She was like, you have this, you have that, you have some swag, you got that rhythm and all that stuff, the musicality. I remember you saying that to me. And then to me and my boy Huda. Yeah, and when I tell you, she just like, I just see her, I just like, dang. And how she gets everybody moving and stuff together, and how you just like, and you influenced a lot of people. And also, y'all, she posted me on her page, actually, like, let's say about at least, a few months ago, before RTC and stuff. So, I mean, we met on Instagram and stuff like that, but in person, RTC, and I'm forever grateful. You are just a hitter. Like, you are amazing. And it's hard to get into Hollywood and stuff like that, acting, you know, and I commend you, because it takes a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of hustling now today. So you can post a reel and then go big, but see, the thing is now, it's like, how long can you stay? You know, how long can you stay in the game? That being a one-hit wonder, you know? You're not a one-hit wonder. You're always going to be in the game, you know what I'm saying? And you did an event recently. I forgot what the event but you did an event recently with all the skaters and everybody was in the middle. I saw you did the thing with the hat and stuff, and you doing break dances and all. Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
That was so Smitty on Skates is his Instagram. David Smitty. He does a jam skate competition that he's been doing for 7 or 13 years. I can't remember, and it's called Heartbreak. And he asked if Dance Skate could host it and sponsor it. So I did, and I want to do even more of that. But I'll talk more about Dance Skate later, like how that started. But so that was Heartbreak. So that was really cool, because like it's funny because like over the years, like over like the years I've been skating, I noticed because of social media, a lot of people call everything on skates jam skating. So a lot of jam skaters, are actually got really upset about that, because jam skating, just like JB skating, just like Jersey skating, it's all like it's its own thing. Like, and it's very rich in its culture. Like when I like met all these like OG jam skaters, and they're talking about like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, talking about like jam skate legends and name dropping and all this. I'm like, wow, this is like a really rich culture. And it's a lot like the dance world where they have battles. So the whole thing came with battles and how fast they can move and how creative they can come. Which is why I feel like some skaters that I really love, who I'm close to, like Dylan Morton and Darian Reyes, they're so dope, because I feel like that jam skate background really inspires their creativity. So that way when they freestyle, you're thinking like, how did you come up with that so fast? And like, how did you hear the music like that? And that's because a lot of jam skaters, that's what they would do, is that they would listen to music and prepare all these sequences, all these freestyles, in case whatever song was to drop during their battle. and the creativity that they do so fast. Like you could tell they literally what they do in their downtime when they're not battling. They go and they practice sequences and come up with new like little like it's almost like little choreographed like little sequences that they could bust out in a freestyle. So that's why like you see so much like intricate like creativity in such a small amount of time with these jam skaters, which is like heavily influenced from like breakdancing, not just even on the floor, but like top rocking, like any like b-boy b-girl stuff, which was really cool because that was my first jam skate competitions I ever witnessed. And I say what I said earlier because a lot of girls, when I started getting social media following, which has been a slow climb since 2016 when Sugar sponsored me, and then I worked for Moxie, and this was like years ago. My following started like kind of growing, and at the time that was like a lot of followers for a roller skater. Like 10,000 followers was a lot.
Yeah, 10,000.
That was a lot for, because now people have like 100K and such like that. And so a lot of girls started following me, and because I would work on some jam skate moves, because like the bad boys from Venice, and I was friends with Honor Roll, previously break skate, I would like learn jam skate moves from them. So I would say that a lot. And so a lot of girls called me a jam skater, and they still do. And I'm like, no, I'm not technically a jam skater, but I am working on jam skate moves.
Right.
And I guess I mean, jam skate is a very like versatile umbrella like under its movements and stuff. So maybe I do jam skating here and there, but I never really called myself a jam skater because I really want to respect every skate style with where it comes from, and I don't have that much experience in specifically jam skating. You know, I don't come from the jam skate competitions. That was like mostly like what me and you, like we go to skate parties,
right?
While like in jam skate world they go to jam skate competitions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also too, what that mean, like, cause you know, like I do. Listen, like you know, freestyle you do, you know, in the middle, and like competitions is way different from just going into the middle. We're just showcasing talent and skill and stuff like that. But a competition, you're winning, you're trying to get a certain spot, and also too is you know, like I do, like, listen, I get every style intertwined with each other, I guess, you know, like, you know, house, and it, like, sometimes JB, Detroit goes a little bit of, I was going to just say, but yeah, everything mixed in together, you know, to create, like, freestyle. Like, you're doing everything, if you think about it. Like, you know, like, when I skate, I do a little swag, you know, a little pop lock here and there, you know, freestyle, you know what I'm saying? Still.
Yeah.
Overall, though, it's like, you know, both styles kind of, to me, like, intertwine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, like, snap, like, pivots.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I said Detroit, my fault. Be more. DC. You know, like, in Frizzwood, like, House, JB, like, they're all coming together, like, also one style, but it's the way how they rate it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Dylan, Stink. I call him Stink all the time. Yeah. My boy, though. I love Dylan. But, yeah, like, listen, for him to do all that stuff, and, like, you know, because he does a lot. He does a lot. So fast, and then he thinks off his feet really fast too, and that's what also on beat. That's like wow, you know, that's a little breathtaking. Like he be doing things on his arms, shoulders, stuff. I'm like, I'll stick to
Dylan, he also trained in like ballet too, so, and not just ballet but different dance styles, which I think like when I tell my students, like, learn everything, because I have this analogy I always give. It's like the more you learn, it's like a kid, like you give a kid a red and a blue and a yellow crayon, and then the kid's having the day of its life. But then you're like, here's an orange and a green and a pink, a purple. It's like you have more to color with. So it's like the more you learn, like even the more like you learn choreographies too, it amplifies your freestyle too, because like choreography and freestyle is like two different things. Like even in the dance world, like you have freestyle dancers and you have choreography dancers, and like they're two different things. But you know, working on your freestyle helps your choreography, and learning choreographies actually amplifies your freestyle. So it's like learning like different movement vocabularies. And just being as a dancer, I've trained in so many dance styles.
Yeah.
I've trained in so many different dance styles where like when I went to LA, I intentionally took different dance styles so I can get better at everything, from all like partner dancing, all Latin dancing, all different styles of hip hop, because like hip hop is like an umbrella of so much. From voguing, whacking, house. Sorry, there's all these messages coming through.
There's like all these emails.
Voguing, whacking, house, some break dancing, and then like everything from like salsa, merengue, cha-cha, tango, foxtrot. What else? Just like, because what it does is just like learning everything. It's fun, and don't ever stop being a student, because it's like people who like you who freestyle on the spot, it just helps like learning everything, because now it's like you have more crowns, more to play with, and it's like you can think less and feel more, because you got a lot to pull from, because you've practiced all these different elements of movement, you know?
I agree. And also with you know, because like I said, freestyling, you know, like going to big parties, stuff like that, you're seeing so many people do so many different styles, like RTC, on, like all those, when going to the party, especially in the middle, I feel like everybody lays that one thing in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw you in the middle. Like you done things that I'm like, Jay, like that's
whatever. Shut up. You're so good.
Morgan, I'm telling you, Morgan is the absolute like freaking. You're phenomenal, and like you know, like I said, also guys, that's our main topic today. I'm gonna switch over that too. Okay, Morgan, rhythm is like the main thing. Dancing, anything, every style, a certain type of rhythm to it and a certain beat to it. And that's one thing I also realized once you do like your choreography and all that stuff, you know, like to a certain song or anything, when you have your little group and stuff behind you and your students, like I doing things on beat. And even when you're skating, like everything is on beat. And also like the feel, you know what I'm saying? And like you know, like breakdancing moves you do, or in like, because like I said, every style collides and stuff like that. So what's your main thing about rhythm and technique and all that stuff? Well, rhythm is different things, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I even noticed that too, because it's like if I do go in the middle, I feel like there's different types of middles, you know, like sometimes like different types of ciphers. Like sometimes people would just go in and it's like a spin cipher. Go in and do a spin, go and do a spin. Go in and like work on different things. But then when it's more like a showcase, like at a skate party kind of thing, and it becomes like a showcase, or almost like a battle cipher, whatever, it's kind of like everyone does go in to hit their like not one trick pony, but everyone goes in to hit like their best tricks.
Right.
And for me, I don't want to think like, let me go in and show everyone my best moves, even though I feel like that's what mostly everyone does. But I like to go in, I'm really like, just want to hear the music and have the music tell me what to do. Even if it's something as simple as like a little groove, you know, like, because I want the music to move me first, then to go out there and force a move and force a skill on top of the music. Because when I'm watching skaters in the middle, the skaters that I love watching are the ones who let the music tell them first what to do, then the skaters who go out there and force movement to the music. Do you know what I mean? It's like they have planned already ahead. Despite the song, despite whatever's playing, they already have planned that I'm gonna hit this trick that I have and this trick that I have. Which is fine too. There's nothing wrong with like wanting to work on like certain skills, but entertainment wise, like if I'm watching, and which I also love that because I practice that for myself, it's like just go out there. Like I got in the middle a lot at RTC, and sometimes when I'm in there, I'm not really hitting like some crazy skills. I'm just kind of like grooving to the music.
Like I mean, you know, RTC this year, like I mean, like I did. You know, enough to show people like, okay, like, oh, this is TJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but I mean,
yeah, TJ is sick though. But like, that's the thing. That's what I complimented you, because like you have all these 6 skills, which is like awesome to have. But you also incorporate like the music into it, the rhythm into it. You know, so it's not just like hitting a bunch of skills, but it's like, let me move to the music, and then when I hear that hi-hat come, I'm gonna hit that trick right there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hit that 540 right there, or whatever.
It takes me different places. You know, I feel the music. Like I can't listen. I mean, I can't really go off on a song that I just don't feel. You know what I'm saying? Because they played a lot of songs at night. You know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like
right.
You know? And
yeah, I agree to that 100. Yeah.
It's kind of like, especially with me being at the last skate parties, a lot of DJs play amazing. That DJ that night did good and everything. He did amazing, phenomenal. But also, like, like this song that's just kind of like, I just chill on this one. I just let them go have it at it. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, because, there's some people who just go in the middle, I'm talking about they just nonstop. But me, it's just like, I know when it's time. You know what I'm saying? Like some people just go straight into the middle. They don't warm up or nothing. They just go straight into it. But and then kind of be off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why I was happy you told me about that day about, saying like, TJ, that musicality and all that stuff. Do you know how it was when I was little? I was like offbeat. It was so bad. Like, it was like it's still on beat. And I'm like, because I'm not going through the song. I'm skating in my head and not listening to the beat. And that's how I was like, thank you so much for just like acknowledging that. Because, that's like, that's the main thing to me, music, and like the music take over you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I know for you too, when that song come on, you're like, here we go. Let's do it. Got you on that side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And rhythm, y'all, means a lot, especially skating, and being clean. That's also too.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, like when I watch old skate videos of me, and I guess everyone can agree to this, but it's like you watch old skate videos and you're like, I wasn't clean. So like what I try to do now is like, I learned this actually at an audition that I did years ago. So when I was at an audition and I'm talking to Terrell, who's like my skate partner, like a skate mentor. And I was like, you got like 30 seconds, or it might even be 10 seconds. So you got to bust out all your best moves in this audition right now. So I'm like, alpha kicks, whatever, like going down and all this like stuff. But then it looks sloppy. And then Terrell was like, you just don't hit the moves that you're working on, hit the moves that you already got. Because the judges, you can do something simple, just some crazy legs, but if you look smooth doing it, then that's when you like it looks confident, it looks cool, than hitting moves that are kind of like shaky. Because that too, when I'm like skating, like when I look at old videos and I'm like, I wasn't very smooth with that. It's like I want to look smooth with everything. So it's like if like this routine that I recently did to Dr. Dre, like,
oh, I saw that one.
I just want to look like, to me, I want my skating to look smooth and like cool, instead of being like, let me hit these moves that I'm not super crispy on, or like, let me because I think like busting out cool tricks is dope and I want to do that. But me personally, like I want to be in the flow and look super smooth on my moves, and it's like, so that's why, like, even when I teach, my classes and my workshops, I tell the students, like, I love having a mirror. Like when I teach in Los Angeles at this dance studio that I always teach at, I've been a dance teacher there for like 5 years and then teaching my skate classes. I tell everyone, like, look at yourself in the mirror. Even like if you're at home, just like when you dance in front of the mirror to see what you look like, skate in front of a mirror to see what you look like. And because like we never skate from here up, we only skate from here down. And like feel the music, like incorporate your upper body, like start like working on those grooves, because it's like, you want to see what you look like, you want to see what other people see, start looking at yourself, and that's when you can really like have intention with your body. So even when I teach, I'll say like, we'll work on body isolations, from simple things from our shoulders to like body rolls. And so now you got shoulders, body rolls, and like head isolations and all this. So now when we do crazy legs, or I do like a crab walk or tic-tac or whatever, I'm like, look how I get my shoulders. And like, now you can think about what your body is doing with your lower body.
Yeah, I would love it. That would be cool. Like, actual, like, I've been to many videos, but I always wish I had my skates, because it's so good to look in the mirror and look at you skate or whatnot. You see yourself and you can try so many new things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I learned about going to big parties and stuff. That's why, like, I don't really fall as much at big parties, because I know what I'm going to kind of do ahead of time. And plus also, not that I plan it, but I also know that's like, like a certain move in my mind. Because like, I be in my mind sometimes when I skate or whatnot, just to be like smart. Because I was like, there's certain, like, I was like, do I really want to risk it?
Right. That's the same thing I said about auditions. Like, it's like, don't hit something that you're working on.
Right.
Work on, do stuff that you know that you got in the pocket. You know, and then like that will come later on. But like, unless like, you know, you're at a skate session and it's practice mode, and that's like, because sometimes I love going to the rink when it's not packed and it's just practice mode for me, and that's when I'm just practicing. You're gonna see me fall down and get back up a lot of times. And then there's times where I'm like at a skate party and I'm like, this isn't practice for me. This is me just like getting lost in the sauce and just grooving and doing everything I know that I got. Not things I'm like working on, but things that I got. Like, just have fun with it. Yeah.
Like, there's some things in my mind. There's something that night I was very shocked that I pulled, because, like, you know, like I said, a lot of people say every podcast, y'all. I like my mom, even everybody told me, like, you're mental when you skate because you don't think. I do be thinking, y'all, but I also be like, you know what? Let's give it a go. Like, there's a lot of things that I was like, let's just go ahead and give it a go. And then I was shocked. Like, there was something I did. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, T, like, you didn't break ankles, you didn't pop a nut. Like, you did good. Like, this is great. But then also there was limit. You know, there's always a skater's limit where it's just like, you know, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna just work on it a little more, because like there's things that night that I was like, you know, let's go ahead and incorporate this. You know, I see, like, you know, because you always want to practice on yourself and always be, you know, better every time you come back, because guess what? RTC, that we got Skate-a-thon coming up. That thing, like, I'm like, okay, all right, so make sure this kind of look good. Make sure that's like, you know, make sure that's not too sloppy, because I don't like being sloppy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can do the best things in the world, but guess what? You can do a backflip, but if that thing is not clean and precise, then no, not gonna really be like, what? Like, you're gonna get a but you're not gonna whoa. You know what I'm saying? When someone can do the crazy so smoothly, like that's why. And then guess what? Everybody just thinking like he's the best man in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you relate on that for sure? I'm telling you. I'd be like he just did like just one time, like this guy, I did like a huge spin one time. I did like 5 spins in one spin, and then guess what? This guy just did 1 toe spin. Woo! Like he made it sound like I was like, I wasn't clean enough. Now if I had been a little bit more clean, if I would have been a little bit then guess what? I probably would have been like, oh, like that was like the best thing I've seen all night. You know what I'm saying? So guys, rhythm, balance, being smooth, all that stuff. Especially for like, you know, a person that choreographs a lot of dance moves and all that, that's like a main key.
Yeah. Also, like on that note, because like the 5 spins versus a 1 toe spin, whatever, I know exactly what you mean, and it has to do with not only the cleanliness of it, but the timing, like building up the climax of it, because it's like the anticipation. It's just like in music, like, you know, you got like those like 4 8 counts, and then on the 5th one it's like the boom, and it's like you can do something so simple, but when you hit the different musicalities, because it's kind of like this, you can be dancing really 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 hard the whole time, but if you're dancing really hard the whole time, it becomes this.
Right.
It becomes flatlined, because there's no ups and downs and ups and downs. And like the other day I was in Boston, and this girl, she took a private lesson from me, and she's like, hey Morgan, will you just watch my flow? I was like, yeah. I was like, put on whatever song you want. So she puts on her favorite song, and she just flows to the song the whole time, right? And afterwards she's like asking for my critiques and stuff, and I said, well, I know some of it might be anxiety because you're trying to impress me, but what happens is that when you do that, you try to force yourself to bust out all your best moves all at once. But what happens to that is that when you're hitting hard move after hard move after hard move, it just starts looking like this. Instead, like, slow it down. Like, it's okay. Like if you're hitting something every 2 counts, like, okay, but then you need to stop and hit like a stop, like a very slow 8 count, like slow it down. So that way when you take it back down, it has the anticipation. So when you hit it back up, it has everyone's attention, because you're playing with the sounds and the speeds. Like even like sometimes I'm in the middle, and like everyone who's been coming in the middle is doing like some really sick plug spins and all this crazy ass shit, and I'm like in there just like some crazy legs and some like little grooves or whatever, right? But maybe because I slowed something down and I'm playing with the different instruments, it looks cool. And even though like someone just did something a lot cooler, it's like I'm orchestrating
orchestrated
to the
and
music.
art.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so that's where like sometimes, okay, there's this one video that Jerry Roxworld filmed at Drive Biscuit years ago of Camille, Verdell, and a bunch of other girls. And it's in Camille's dance studio.
Right.
And the girls are doing like some really slow, like sexy, crazy legs. Yeah. Right. And the whole thing's kind of just like really like chill and groovy. But because they're like really sitting in that pocket, and then like they're changing the dynamic, they do this for like a couple 8 counts, and then they change it and go low. Like they're playing with the different musicalities so it doesn't become flatlined. And because of that, that video blew up on YouTube and everything. And it's so like, that's why sometimes like it doesn't have to be a crazy like plug spin, toe spin, but like something just like that really orchestrates to the music, and you're really hitting the different musicalities that make it entertaining to watch, you know?
Right. Like I said, like also about being in the middle too, and what I realized over the time, I was like, you know, listen, it looks easy to get in the middle, but that's when the anxiety comes in. Like I'm see for like the first, let's be about 30 minutes at most. I'm just chilling stuff. Like I go to the middle. I'm over here like, okay. Look at everybody saying, because it's like I don't know why I'm used to being in the middle, but then it's like, you know, at a huge event like that, because you never know who's watching, especially like it's just like, okay, so you did that, all right. So what can I like pull out of my pocket? Like it was like kind of like I'm not nervous, but it's just like a little nerve wracking because it's just like that. Like listen, just because it's a circle, people behind it and all that, it's like, they got the cameras out. Just first of all, I just tell myself, I said, just make sure you don't fall, make sure you're smooth, you're precise and all that. And I just went out, but then also trying to clear my mind. Because, like I said, you know, you start to slack off a little bit, thinking about like, you know, okay, this like I said, anxiety, which is making you kind of like slack
anxiety.
Off.
Oh man.
Like, oh God. But I was just, then I went out there and I, you know, this is the exact headband actually I wore at RTC. And yeah, I just said, okay, we're gonna do it. Boom, and I hit that spin, and I just never fell over, and just like, I didn't fall, I didn't twist a leg or nothing. And that's just my thing, y'all. And we're also going to be coming to a little close of this podcast or whatnot, but I just want to ask one thing to Miss Morgan. Yeah. Miss Morgan, I have just one question. To be a choreographer, right? And then to know all these things, what is like your main perspective of being like overall clean, precise, like all that? You know what I'm saying? There's so many things I could say, but I forgot it. But I realized, you know, because I was thinking about this as we were talking. I was like, to be clean, precise, all that, what is something somebody can do to literally just knock you out the box? Because being in like a battle or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be giving it your all, you can be doing this, and someone hit that. You know, like, a lot of people who do breakdance, hip-hop, all that stuff in battle. They can on their hand, switch around, all that. They can fly like that. But there's always this main person that comes in and then just shut down everything but like I said, just little. So yeah, the main thing that you can tell me or others that like what to make sure you just do for you will be like, I stand down. Because, you know, a lot of people, like, everybody has their own style, but they, though, like I said, lies, and you want to stand out, you want to be different, but there's always that one dude that's just freaking God that'll do their one thing on the hand. So what's something that you can do that you can be like, okay, I'm going to just do this, but act it like in this way to like...
One of these things I've already said, but to like concise it up and add something to it, it really is the musicality. So it's kind of like a movie, right? So you watch a movie, and if it's a blockbuster film, which is like a term, like, oh, this is a blockbuster, it means it's a predictable film. Like even some traditional American music, that's like a lot of music from the 90s. It's very, you can anticipate where it's gonna go. Like you got like 4/8 of a verse, 4/8 of a chorus, 4/8 of a verse, 4/8 of the second chorus, and then you have like 4 or 2 or 6 of the bridge, and after bridge you go back to the chorus.
Right.
So in the 90s, music was always had that. So when you're freestyling to like 90s music, you can make it look like choreography simply because you know what's about to come next in the music. But understanding music and musicality really helps. So like American music is always going to be like 8 counts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
And usually it's always going to be like 2/8, 4/8, or 8/8. But just understanding music like that, people will sometimes think that you're doing choreography and you're like, no, I'm just freestyling. I just know what's about to come next. So kind of like a movie, a really good movie will have a build up into a climax. So you build up this anticipation. So it's like when you're dancing, when you're skating, you also want to build up to that climax, because if someone just goes out there and they're not listening to the music, but they're just like one trick, all these tricks, it's kind of like, it's like, yeah, you're doing really cool stuff, but because it's not like you're not being moved by the music, it just kind of starts looking like this. Instead of having the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs. And the best advice I can give to even people who might not understand musicality is to go practice and just stop and listen to the music. Just stop and just like listen to the music. And the first thing I'll tell my students, even in my dance class, just start, listen to the music and find the whole count.
That's smart.
And then nod to it or like snap to it, and then find the 8 and then the double time. So the 16 count, the 8 count, and the 4 count, and just find it first. And when you find it, nod. And then from nod, you can do the jack. So like in house dancing, a house dancer, say first do the jack. So it's kind of like this body roll with like a little bit of bounce. So this is called the jack. So a lot of times, like b-boys, house dancers, before busting out something crazy, they'll first they have this climax, like it's something slow, like, oh shit, what is he about to do? Like he's like, okay, and so you get everyone's attention because you just like have this like slow build up, right? Like a break dancer, like they'll go out and like they'll top rock and kind of push people out of the way, right? Doing some like simple like upper body stuff before they go down and do something crazy. Like they don't do the head spin at first, they do the head spin later, right? Right. So it's like you got to kind of like build up and create that anticipation. But the key to it is first finding the music and listening to the music. So the music tells you what to do, and you're not painting over the music. You're not painting over the picture. You're coloring inside the lines, right? And then you're not coloring outside the lines. Like, you know, you got to like first hear it, and then like, okay. And then you hear that count. And then you hear that count, and then 4 8 counts go by, and you're doing something. So then when the next 4 starts on the top of the 5, you're like, bada boom, doing something, right? But like, I understand music well, so that's why I can like anticipate what's going to come next. But I think, who was I talking to? It was either Hunter Collins or Darian recently. And he would say before Jamscape battles, they would start listening to a bunch of songs that are like new and hot on the radio, and start like listening to the musicality of them in case one of those songs were to come on at a battle. You know what I mean? But also you don't want to do that either, by just listening to a lot of music and having the music first tell you what to do. So like in my dance class, skate class, like we'll just start off with that, you know, before we add on. I was like, the arms and the legs, they don't lead the show. The dancing comes from here, and then from the here is the arms and the legs. So, you know, you first got to find the rhythm, the flow of the music. And then once you're caught up in that vortex, I call it the vortex. It's like when you're lost in the sauce, when you're in the music, when the music's now in your head and telling you what to do, that's when you start busting out crazy stuff, because you're locked in with the music. You don't have to think, you're feeling it, you're in it.
Oh my God, I just learned so much about myself just now. I'm just
But you already do all this. You're amazing.
Like, listen,
seriously.
You can be the best skater. You can have amazing talent. You can have all that. But there's also things like I'm humble. I'm like, okay, what she just said, now I'm like, okay, I'm looking back at myself skate. I'm just like, okay, so now let's go ahead and incorporate. I do what you say, but guess what? Not every single time. I sometimes just go out there and not think, or just not feel the vibe. I just go out there just because I feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I learned a lot just now. I hope you guys did too, y'all. Miss Morgan, thank you so much for everything you've done for this podcast, giving us the info, the things we need, and the itty the gritty, because we need it. And I'm telling you, y'all definitely go ahead and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, check post on. Go ahead and follow her Instagram. What's your Instagram?
It's my first and last name. It's Morgan Wesky, and then there's dance.skate, and Morgan Wesky.
Yes, okay, you guys already know to find me at. Got the underscore and the dot. So it's I am Young Soul. Like I said, guys, like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on. And TJ Young Soul TV, episode 8, Skaters Podcast is signing out. See y'all. Supersonic is out.